My friend, 27F, tried to embarrass me, 25F, in front of a guy, 31M. Here's a little more info. Her and I hung out on Tuesday. We went to the beach, had a wonderful time. My other friend who I met recently invited me to his place to have some champagne and go to dinner. I told him I'm with her and he said to bring her. When I FaceTimed him, my friend was crazy. She demanded that he takes us to dinner. I didn't really know what to say, but he took it well and was polite about it. When we got to dinner, she was so annoyed that we had to wait to get a table, like everyone else, that she started going off on me to the point of insulting me and saying I do this every time. I have never done anything to her, not that I can think of. Then, she proceeded to say more things that are basically insults to me and trying to put me down. For zero reason. We got out of the car and she straight up hit me with the car door. Then when we got to the restaurant, the guy who invited us was trying to kiss me. I could tell this was making her furious. She was trying so hard to talk to him the entire time too. I didn't really care because him and I are just friendly, and although I really like him, it's not like that and I'm not ready to date him. We are just friends for now. Anyway, the entire time she was just behaving like a crazy child. This woman is 27. It was so embarrassing. I ended up staying over at his place after and we talked, then I left next morning. I got a message from my friend the next morning saying, "Hey, sorry I was a little mean to you yesterday, girl. You hit me with the car door and made me cry with how mean you were being. In the bathroom. 1. Should I apologize for how she was acting or tell him in person? 2. What should I do about my friend? She seems to dismiss it as her being drunk and hungry, but that's just unacceptable. She said I didn't do anything, but the apology was so weird. Too long, did not read. She hit me with a car door, was insulting me, and acted like a child. Should I apologize to him for her behavior and what should I do about her? Edit. The guy seemed to understand that she was just acting really out of line and not look at me any differently. At one point, he literally told her to stop speaking to me like this. It was still so embarrassing. Wow, yeah, definitely have a discussion with the guy about what happened, and while it's not totally fair, an apology for her behavior may be warranted. Your friend on the other hand, yikes. I say drop that one and run, because if she is going to switch up on you so quickly just to get a guy's attention, she's ready to do that to you in a lot of other areas. Her apology was piss poor, she knew what she was doing and she didn't and like she wanted to, so she's half-heartedly backpedaling and downplaying her actions to you. I wouldn't say that any apology of hers is worth it when you take the implications of her actions into account. Don't hang out with her anymore. How about that for starters? I've never had girlfriends like the one you mentioned, but if I did, I'd stop hanging out with her immediately. As for the guy, you still need to vet him, know him more and see what kind of person he is. You need to tell the friend that her behavior was unacceptable and you won't put up with that again. Next time, if there is a next time, tell her the outing is over the first time she decides to insult you. It sounds like she's really jealous of you. Dump her ass. Shush is not your friend. Shush is someone who hangs around you in that "ill look better next to them" kinda way, and she got salty when a man had the audacity to find you more appealing. People like this suck, but they exist and are not worth your time. That is not a friend. This girl is not your friend. She sounds like a built who gets off on embarrassing and being violent with you. Stop hanging out with her, and tell her it's because she acts like a fucking toddler who needs to get her shit together. I wouldn't bother with her again, to be honest. Erratic behavior is tiresome. Careful, I had a friend similar to her. She basically went after the guy the first liked. Thankfully, he was actually open about it and told me she tried to hook up with him. Apologize to him on behalf of your friend. Be courteous. Start to cut ties with her slowly. She may be the type that if you date another guy, she will go after the guy. NYF. Not your friend. I had a friend like that when I was in my 20s. She was more physically attractive than I am and used to soaking up all the male attention. Anytime any guy showed interest in me, she would be angry with me, and it escalated each time. I think your friend views you as competition, unfortunately, and was infuriated that a guy seemed to be into you and not her, even though she wasn't actually interested in him. I personally could not, and didn't, maintain such a friendship, and you don't have to either. I am a girl's girl, still have plenty of female friends, and they are all awesome and supportive. Edited for autocorrect typos. This girl seems unstable. I would slow fade and distance since it sounds like you've only hung out a handful of times. Sometimes people don't show their true colors right away, so there might not have been obvious signs until this most recent incident. Reddit has taught me the wise sage advice of, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Dump her but keep the guy. Is your friend mentally unhinged? I'm so sorry that you had to deal with her that night. It's the first time she's done anything like that and I wasn't sure how to handle it at first. I won't be hanging out with her anymore, so it won't be a problem in the future. You need to yeet this friend from your life. Hell nah. Downright shameful for her to do that to you. Maybe she was acting that way cause she's interested in him maybe. I'd have my guard up around your friend to be honest. Usually when friends try and downplay you it's to make them look like the better option. My best friend literally punched me in the arm and pinched me to wake me up after I fell asleep on a car ride. Why you ask? She was jealous because she accidentally overheard some guys, mainly her own brothers, talking about how nice I looked after losing a bunch of weight. We were 24. Never keep a jealous friend around. They will continue to sabotage and humiliate you. From her perspective, you planned a trip to the beach where she was the third wheel with you and some guy she doesn't know. Most people wouldn't have flipped out in the way that she did, but most people also still would have been upset about it. You laid the fuel, she lit the spark, and you're both responsible for the fire and putting it out. If you want to see the guy again, then you should apologize. Tell him you had a good time, you're sorry for your friend, and you want to see him again. She's not your friend. Her apology means nothing. Hey op. Glad to hear you spoke with your guy friend about her, but did he pay for dinner out? If he did, extra EW, and also someone should have stopped her WAAAY before the bragging about fleecing men for rent. Acting the way she did and being your friend means anyone who meets you is going to assume that you not only support her insane behavior because you tolerate it, but you might also be a secret crazy person. Maybe downgrade her to some woman I know. Not everyone is cut out to be a friend. If I called a girl I liked and her friend demanded that I take them both to dinner, I would tell them actually never mind lol and let them go. That is enough for me to know what might be coming. By the sound of this story I would have been correct lol. Pruning toxic friends is a good thing. And here I was thinking only guys do this kinda stuff. Hope you talk with your friend because that was lame of her. That is not a friend, is a jealous attention-seeking toddler. She couldn't stand a guy giving you more attention than to her. Or maybe she likes the guy and doesn't want to see you two together and happy. Don't take her apology, and drop her as a friend. Sounds like she tried to wingman but almost blew it for you. I am Susan, I am single, never married, looking for a serious relationship with honest and trustworthy man. 1. Yeah, I've had moments like that where I was hanging with someone and their friend was awkward. If the woman I'm talking to doesn't apologize for it, I usually assumed that's the norm, and I wouldn't want to interact with either of them. 2. Yeah, Shush is insecure and views you as competition. In a game where she wasn't even playing, Shush is a pick-me, trying to make you look bad so she looks better. Drop her. Drop her quick cause they only get worse and toxic. She is not your friend anymore. That is one thing that you know. Dump that girl, she's not your friend. Yeah, I would be cutting her out. With friends like that, who needs enemies? There is literally no excuse that she could give you that makes this okay. Treating you horribly and then hitting you with the car door, like that's disgusting behavior. I would be going low contact with her for a while, and if she asks why you don't go anywhere with her or etc., you tell her the truth. After the last time she was embarrassing and you didn't appreciate how she treated you. You were worth more than that op. Sounds like she was incredibly jealous because you got invited to dinner with this guy and not her. Then tried to put you down in front of him to make herself look better in front of him, but she took it too far. Realized after you were the one staying over at his place and not her, and now is trying to backtrack. That is not how a friend should act in any situation. Yes, perhaps you should apologize on her behalf because she is your friend after all, and you should definitely set some better boundaries with this so-called friend and never take her with you on a date ever again, or she is going to keep sabotaging you and making you feel miserable when you should be happy because she is selfish. You were more than a little mean, you were downright insulting and very embarrassing around, guy. I'm gonna need a better apology if we're gonna continue to be friends. Honestly op, unless you're really terrible at describing things, you left a lot out, but I get that we don't need everyone's life backstory or privacy violating details. I don't really understand how you're so tolerating of this as you already are. If a friend acted like yours did, it's not even something to think about. I'd have two reactions. One is genuine medical concern that they've had a medical incident. Some sort of psychotic break or brain injury, malfunction. Something really serious and concerning. The other being to completely stop associating with them in whatever way caused the least potential violence, damage to my life. Does her normal behavior in any way approach this kind of behavior? It's just that bizarre. Tell your friend you expect a better apology in person. No rug sweeping or you'll just be enabling. You have to confront her about how she acted, and if she won't be honest with you or apologize sincerely, it's time to stop investing in that friendship. I also think it was a bad idea to take her on what was for all purposes a date. I don't know friends who do champagne and dinner on the fly as a hangout, and you should have just rescheduled with him for when you were actually free instead of interrupting the plans you had with her. That doesn't excuse her behavior, but you shouldn't put people in that kind of situation. If you keep the friendship, you're going to be the only one to blame for the things she will put you through. The fun thing about being an adult is choosing who we want to keep in our life. Good friends make us healthier. Does she sound like a friend that makes you healthier? I don't think I could ever be friends with someone who got physical with me in any way. Hurting you with a car door is just beyond. Women that would literally give an arm and a leg for male attention and validation are not your friends. Don't bring her along on any more dates. There's no need for her to be there, and she's obviously got a jealousy issue with you. She's not friend material. Your friend is not a friend. If she cared about you, she would not have repeatedly done things to hurt you. Everyone is careless with words and actions once in a while, but what you describe is ridiculous. If being drunk is her excuse, she should be in RR. Her drinking is affecting her relationships. If she doesn't give you and him a meaningful apology, you should cut her from your life. Drop that friend. I have had friends like this, they get crazier. This was just a sample of her craziness. I would apologize to your guy friend and explain that you had never seen her like that and you won't bring her around him anymore. Should I apologize for how she was acting or tell him in person? Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't do so that same night when you stayed over. It doesn't need to be a big thing. I think a text would suffice, but he obviously noticed how shitty she was, if he even commented on it. What should I do about my friend? She seems to dismiss it as her being drunk and hungry, but that's just unacceptable. Tell her that. Tell her that her behavior was unacceptable, blatantly rude, ridiculous, and embarrassing for both you and her. Tell her there's no excuse for how she acted, and you won't be friends with someone who disrespects you, so you're ending the friendship, since it sounds like you're leaning that anyway. Pick me trick doesn't deserve your friendship. That's super shady and not okay in the slightest. She's two-faced and willing to hurt you both physically and verbally to try and make herself look better. For a man, no less. Then she's dismissive with the apology. SMH. I couldn't stand to have someone like that in my life. I treat others as I'd like to be treated, and I expect the same of my friends and family. I'd dump the friend for sure. Funny. I've been a hungry drunk before and still have never done that to anyone. I just made jokes and laughed. Like I do when I am drunk and not hungry, or when I am, gasp, sober. If you want folks like this in your life that seem alright until you get into a social setting, go right ahead. I hate to say this, though, she would get diminished gradually, until the contact was something I felt more appropriate for the perceived maturity level, up to a gradual expulsion from my life. I hope this helps. Hey, sorry I was a little mean to you yesterday. I hate that. People who apologize, but make it sound as insignificant as possible. Narcissistic. I would make clear that you don't accept the apology because it doesn't seem to acknowledge what actually happened. My ex started doing this. It doesn't get better. Seriously, if she doesn't apologize immediately to both of you, drop her and don't look back. As for what happened to me, I'd be in the middle of a conversation and she would butt in to put me down, ranging from calling me an idiot to suggesting to my cousin if me and her had kids they wouldn't be mine because she could have any man she wanted. She then put on the waterworks a week later because my family don't want to talk to her and it's my fault. Unsurprisingly, we broke up. What was weird was we were together 7 years and she had only done something similar once when she was completely wasted and struggling with a toxic friend of hers. Thinking face, wonder if she got back in touch. Oh well, not my problem now. The guy sounds like a good dude. The woman sounds like someone you don't want to stay friends with. I'm guessing she was jealous.